Well, I read the prospectus, a strange thing to do for a hot deal, and the growth has been phenomenal, 100% growth. When they cite their retention rate, it's 158%, which means that they're upselling, that their accounts are taking on more product. So, look, I love the cloud. This is AI for the cloud. It's got a blue chip list of clients, of accounts. So why wouldn't you want it? You don't find that growth anywhere, and there's a scarcity effect. So everything checked on the box, unfortunately, didn't get any. So maybe if Brad will give me some of his, we'll continue our friendship. So I'm looking forward to that, Brad.
Yeah, I've got Pete Najarian, who just called in as well, who's an unhappy man as well. Pete, you wanted a piece of this too, and you didn't get it either.
No, and I'll tell you what, Scott, it was one of these situations where you really do start to expect that you're going to because of what level you are in terms of a customer, but it just didn't happen. In so many ways, Steve points out some of the really important parts, which is when you look at retention rate in this cloud world that we're in right now and all the data that's being collected, this is an unbelievable opportunity. And I think it's one of these where the frustration is if you could get in, you really, really wanted to get in. And I think Steve and I both are in the same camp right now. But when you've got Buffett and Benioff and all these others that got in at different rounds, it certainly is something that does intrigue you because I've been waiting for this for a long time, following this one along the way, and it's a disappointment, but I'm still excited for the markets because I think this is going to be a really I think this is going to be a record-setting IPO at least for the year.
Yeah, for certain. I mean, it's the biggest software IPO ever, biggest IPO of 2020. I mean, that's the view today, folks, from two pros, if you will. And it's interesting when you think about what the so-called average Joes might be thinking on Twitter. Somebody who follows our show on a regular basis tweets, all the Main Street people I know are asking me about Snowflake IPO, even people who have never owned stocks. It's insane. Okay, so Liz Young, what does that tell us about the current environment that we're in? Something priced at $120 is now indicated in a range of $230 to $235 and counting.
Well, I think that tweet tells us something that we've all been talking about for a long time, that the individual investor in this recovery and in this environment, regardless of the recovery, is a new force to be reckoned with, and it has a lot of power. There are so many people interested in investing in stocks, and this is in the perfect spot. We've got it in the tech space. We've got a ton of demand in the tech space. We've got a ton of interest in equity markets overall because of TINA, because there is no alternative. So we'll continue to see this demand. And then just examples from Steve and Pete that there are people that are out there still with demand that couldn't get their demand met. So I think this is an interesting experience for all of us. I would expect the demand to continue. And although this is a pretty big difference between IPO price and what we're expecting it to actually trade at, I don't know that it's that huge of a surprise given the space.
Yeah.